All right, let me hit share. Growth day. Um, okay, yeah, this is a 6 minute one.
The boundary of the fake self versus the real self. When we blur the lines between who we authentically really are and how we are showing up to please or placate others, to minimize ourselves. That's the boundary. How much do you cross this boundary? You want to talk about the quality of your life? How much do you cross this boundary right here? Think about this. How much, how often do you cross this boundary? When you become aware of these two selves that we all have, the authentic, the authentic, the real, the vibrant self versus the face, the facade, the person we try to be for others, it's not really us. When we step outside of ourselves into a persona of somebody else to please others, to fit in, to belong, to get love, this is the ultimate boundary that breaks our own integrity. This is the boundary that makes us miserable. And you have to decide at some point in your personal development that you don't cross this boundary as much anymore. And at some day, not at all. And that is the ultimate work of personal development, isn't it? How easy it is to glide into conformity, to go from who we really are to suddenly acting out of character. I really believe breaking this boundary leads to most of the long-term miseries in our life. Let me say it again. Breaking this boundary leads to most of the long-term miseries in our life. When we aren't honest about our real thoughts, feelings, desires, dreams, hopes, aspirations, and instead we show up just to please others and to fit in, we minimize ourselves. We enlarge the falsehoods in our life. And see, there is this thing of a boundary, right? There's a boundary between true and false, fake and real, authentic and inauthentic. I know we all might use different languages. I'm very aware that this is an international audience. I just think you've got to figure that out and get highly attuned to when that is happening. When people talk about mindfulness, they're often talking about, ooh, look at the flowers over there. Let me notice the sensations in my body. When they talk about mindfulness, they often think of, let me just drink in this moment. But the most critical and important part of mindfulness is to know who you are and who you are being in any given moment. Because I know a lot of people, they can appreciate the flowers all day long, but they're miserable because they're not being themselves. Boundaries are all about identity. Boundaries. The most important boundary you will ever set in your life is, who are you? What's in that circle of who you are? And what's outside of that? Who are you? Who are you not? In other words, just bringing back my little picture here, the fake self versus the real self. That's the ultimate boundary. To be mindful of when I cross that. Oh, it's so important. I know a lot of you out there, you're influencers, you're curators, you're leaders, you're caregivers, you know, and you can recognize how often you have to step into a role maybe you don't want to be in. Or maybe you're in a situation where you have to hold back a little of your own truth for decorum. You have to put on a shiny face and not freak out on your child. You have to calm yourself down because you want to scream at somebody. That's self-regulation. That's okay. That's allowed. We have to do those things. What we are talking about is an enduring sense, an enduring recognition or mindfulness of how often we are crossing these boundaries. This is a conversation of frequency, isn't it? Because sometimes we have to do a certain behavior that's appropriate. Right now, I want to shift your whole brain. Oh my God, setting boundaries in my life is all about who am I? Who am I really? And am I showing up as that consistently, with intention, with joy, with flow? That is the thing we were actually talking about, not just boundaries about, what you'll allow on your plate from others. It's about who you are. The more often you break this boundary, the more miserable you are. I really want you to capture that. I know you're coming like, geez, Brendan, thanks for the personal development today. Can we get some dancing bears and balloons? Make this a little more entertaining, dude. This is a little hard, but this is why you might be miserable. And I don't say that in any judgmental way. I've been there and I've coached thousands of people through this. We got to get you more on this side. We've got to be aware when we break a boundary, who we are not.
Awesome. That was a good one. Okay. What's up, Sandra? I didn't get to say hi. You popped in right after we started the audio. Good morning.
I think sometimes the line is really blurred on that because I know there's days where it's just like, I'm just not feeling this, but I promised I'd get on here and do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he kind of touches on that barely. Like I was thinking about that as he was talking. I was like, there's some days like where like Gabby and I resolve problems really quick, but there's sometimes we'll get into a little scuffle and I'm heated up like inside a little bit and then I got to go work and then I'm like thinking, okay, my work is remind people their family is the most important work on earth and I just got in a scuffle with my family. And so it's just being aware of what you're doing and so it's like anything in personal development will always say you got to follow through with your decisions or your commitments rather than how you feel. So there's some days you don't feel like coming to show up to work, but you show up and then that's how you build a good
Yeah.
life. You show up whether you feel like it or not. I think his message, like the way that I understand it is this, me personally is like, the fake versus the real, like that. It's like, it would be like if you're constantly just like downing, like let's say Doritos or Monster Energy drinks, and then I get on and I'm saying like, don't drink Monster Energy drinks,
Yeah.
energize. It's more of being in alignment with like doing like not the small little things. Like I don't feel like working out, and then I mean like being up my business and then showing up for your business despite how you feel. I think very different things.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I interpret it.
And I think in this industry, when we are doing what we're doing and we don't have to go clock in somewhere and report to, a boss
Yeah.
and do the job, it's easier just to go, well, I'm just not feeling it, rather than get on and do it when you're not feeling it, just to not do it at all.
Yep. And sometimes you do need rest. Like I remember
Yeah.
I used to always teach rest, don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
Like take a good solid weekend off. Like Nilka, for example, like she hit 10K one month, she's hit 4K like most every month. And she had I didn't even realize it, but she had her very first Sunday off from building her business yesterday. And I was like, what? Okay, that's our next thing that we need to work on. We need to work on completely unplugging sometimes so that you don't.
Where does she live?
New York. Yeah, she lives in New York. So, okay, well, let's get on our stories and share something about our business. I highly suggest sharing some testimonials. And I saved one I know in my notes that I haven't shared yet. So I'll go share it in our chat thread so that you guys can see which one I'm sharing. Then I'll put that in my stories and then obviously show our face. So I'm going to walk in the backyard and do that.
When you mentioned rest, I actually finished my last lesson at 7 minutes after the hour, and I decided, what do I do? So I went and I set an 11-minute timer. I laid down, fell completely asleep in 11 minutes, went outside for a 9-minute walk, and I'm here.
Yep.
So,
That's what you got to do.
yeah,
Thanks. Thank you for sharing that.
do it. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Here's that sales training we did. Okay, I dropped that testimonial in the Make Freedom People like pre-launch chat thread. Okay. I love the good weather. I'm like more energetic outside than in my office. Okay. I'm gonna go to my Instagram stories is where I'm gonna work today to start new conversations. So we'll go till 12 my time, so 15 minutes, and start some new conversations. Be social on our social media. And I'll just be pasting here, but I can hear if one of you guys unmute and ask a question or anything. I want to share something real quick with you ladies. So I'm just made a note. Okay, I'm moving on to my invites right now too. This is our little transition. But I went to do check an invite that I made on Friday with Nate. So it's kind of like a follow-up. He's got a great following on social media. Let's see, 168,000 followers. Just super funny and engaging. So I made an invite to him, and he's just like, I have a hard line in the sand where I don't do affiliate deals. He's like, if you want to work something else out with me where you send me some product, I try it, and then we work out another deal where I get paid a guaranteed amount plus commissions. And I was like, sorry, brother, appreciate you responding, but we don't do that. I just reiterated, we've paid out $20 million in commissions. There's literally, and he did express like my following, I want to keep my trust with my following. So I can't just go throw something out there. And like, if the company goes under or company's bad, then it's my reputation. So I made sure to just address him. Like, I hear that I was like, there's no risk. I understand. And I do want you to know, I heard your risk is losing your trust of your followers. And I can understand that 100%. And I was like, if things ever change in the future, I was like, I'm going to continue watching your stuff and laughing at it. It makes me like smile every time I see one of your posts. But I did just mention like, but if you do want to try a product as a customer, you're more than welcome to buy one from me. I know you're working on a CrossFit competition coming up. And then I just reiterated the fit is 4 times more effective than a whey protein shake and 5x what you'd get from creatine. If you want to try it out as a customer, I'm always here if you want to order some and give it a try. So just reiterated that I heard him. Sorry, not gonna pay you money, guaranteed money plus commissions to do it. That's not what we do. And yeah, if it's for you, cool. If it's not, cool. But if you want to try it as a customer, I'm always here. And with
Well,
great energy, just responded with great energy. So that's just how we do it. He could, like, I was 100% never going to do Beachbody coaching. Like, in my mind, I was like, I even put on Facebook once, if any of those coaches could convince me to do Beachbody, I would crush it, you know? And so it's just,
and he as a person doesn't have to tell anyone he's trying them. He can try them. He
yep,
doesn't want
try 'em.
to.
Yep. And so it's just important that we respond, like people can understand that we hear them, we understand their concerns. But then I'm still going to be bold and saying, like, try him out, dude. Like, just try him as a customer. So, okay, I'm going to go invite for 15 minutes and do some more follow-ups. Okay, with only 10 minutes left, I'm gonna do some follow-ups now. Oh, I wanted you guys to know, I don't know if you saw it in the team page. So Lori, you know the video that like I had you guys send like a little 2-minute video. So I put those all together. Like I did 2 minutes. I put you guys together. Like I think 4 of you, maybe 5 of you sent videos. So that's like 10 minutes. And then I added on Jared and me talking about peptides for the 10 minutes. So I put it in a 120-minute video. I put it in the Level Up team page. I put my YouTube video, but I also dropped that whole file into a Google Drive. So you can click on the Google Drive and download that file to upload it directly to your Facebook or put it on your own YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find it real quick before we do follow-ups. Because that's what I'm sending right now, because it's like 5 of us sharing 2 minutes each about what we love about Make Wellness. And then and in my first 2-minute intro, like I talk about you have the ability to be an affiliate and join our team, and you're going to hear from a couple of our teammates. And if someone sent you this video, reach out to them about which peptides you want to order or if you want to be an affiliate. So I did it like that in case someone shares my YouTube video, but I also dropped that raw file in there. Let me find it and I'll tag you real quick. I think I put it up Friday. Oh yeah, right here.
How long did it take you to put that together? Just curious.
Well, I didn't really edit your guys' stuff. Like you guys you guys did really great. So it wasn't like I had to edit. So I just put them together like on iMovie and then put my one I already had with Jared. It took me like 5 minutes.
Good job, Scotty.
Okay, so I tagged you in it. One says, here's the file if you want to edit it. And then upload it to your own channel or just upload it to your own channel. And then I put my YouTube link. So I tagged both of you in that.
Is it on the team page?
In the Make Wellness Team Training Hub.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you look at your notifications right after this Zoom, you'll see it.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep, you got it. But it's just good because it shows like Jennifer, I know you're in it, Jennifer's in it, Jessica Ford, myself, and then obviously Jared and I at the end. And then Carol's in it. So there's just some few different faces and personalities so people can see different people.
Did you talk to Carol about her expo she did yesterday?
I chatted a little bit with her when she was done on Friday. And then she texted me on Saturday morning. One of my friends went over and saw her there that was at the expo selling crystals and his stuff. So, um, yeah, she got a few people interested in being an affiliate. She had one person order while she was there. That was as of Friday. So she's like, I hope it pays off because it was an expensive booth. So, but yeah, we'll check in. You should ask her in the chat thread.
I messaged her privately, so
Oh, okay.
I would love to have a conversation with her because
Yeah.
all the questions. I really like doing booths like that. I used to do it when I was with another company, and it you know some days it paid off, some days it didn't. It just kind
Yeah.
of depends. It's hit and miss, and the season of life and.
Yep. That's how I think about it. It depends on like your own personal energy when you're there. How
Yeah.
talkative are you? Because I think about myself, like some days I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. It's just me naturally. I just want to be alone. And some days I'm like super chatty and getting live on the team page and calling friends that I haven't heard from in a while. And then some days I don't call a friend or people for like a week at a time. So I think a lot of it has to do with that too. Like what energy do you come? Are you actually like talking to people, listening to them, or are you just kind of there like present?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'll send out some follow-ups for the next 7, 8 minutes and we'll wrap this up for today. I get a little excited. We're already past the 60-minute mark a little bit. Okay, well, I'm grateful you ladies were here with us today. And Sandra, I see your message. I'll respond to that. Like after I'm finished with my follow-ups, I'll go answer all my
Thanks.
messages. Yep. Okay. Good to see you, ladies. How are you guys feeling on your goals for this month since we're here?
Getting there, working
Yeah.
on them, chipping
Awesome.
away. It's like an ice sculpture.
Yep. A little bit every single day. I was having a conversation with Andrea. She's Spanish speaking, and her girl Jalimar this morning. And Jalimar, she's like she was a child actress and then an actress. She teaches dance classes from Venezuela. So she's like a TV star. And she's like just feeling overwhelmed, like as a single mom, and doesn't want to be pushy and salesy. So we had just a long conversation um about making sure we understand in our like what we have to offer people, and then it doesn't feel like sales. So breaking through that, that it's like a gift that we have to people that will improve their life. And then we really just work through. I shared with her the example of like, I was like, sometimes Jellimar, like every day I show up and I start 10 new conversations, I do 10 invites and I do 10 follow-ups Monday through Friday. Like I almost never miss unless I get the man cold. And I was like, there's times when it's like 10 days when it feels like crickets, like nobody's responding, or they're like, no, not for me. And then all of a sudden there'll be like 3 days and like 5 orders come through, or like 2 new affiliates. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And so, but I tell her I never worry about that. I just stay clear on like, what are my goals for the month? And then what are my goal action steps for the month? And just being in love with the process and serving the best I can. And I was like, this is hard to teach. I told her, but a lot of my successes, I like every morning when I journal, like I pray, like I'm like, help me reach the people that I need to reach to help us achieve our goals and help me help them with what they need. And it's like, I can't explain that. There's no strategy to that. And then
No.
the right person comments and you're like, well, I'm like, I sold, or on Friday, I sold a muscle and metabolic package. And like she's like commented. So I went into the inbox. I was like, hey, what are your goals? And she didn't even share a goal. She's like, I just wanted to say, I've been watching you for 12 years. I've never done anything with you. Like, I trust you. Just tell me exactly like, what I should order. And I was like, okay. And she bought it within like, felt like 30 seconds of me sending her the link in a voice text. And it's like, that's not something you can really teach. It's just like
No.
consistency and continually adding value and building trust. It's not a sales strategy to be like, this is exactly what I did to close Jessica on Friday,
Mhm.
just showing up consistently, you know what your mission is, you know who you want to help, and trusting that God will bring the right people. But you can't just sit back. You got to start the conversations, invite, and right
Mhm.
people will come at the right time.
Well, and it's just like that saying, there are no overnight successes. I mean, 12 years for that moment on Friday.
Yep.
That's a lot of her time invested in watching you. And then obviously whatever you said was the thing she needed to hear that day to
Moment. Yeah.
that moment. And two, we can set these lofty goals, but we I'm reading and learning and realizing that it's not about the end game. It's about the actions that we take to get there.
Yep.
And so don't worry about the finish line. Do the actions that you need to get there, because you're never going to get there if you don't do this, and this.
Yep.
Well,
I think
Scotty,
about
like you said you do 10 of this, 10 of that, and 10 of the other. You didn't say I make my 5 sales today,
yeah.
because you don't know who's going to buy today and who will all of a sudden everyone wants to buy in the same day, you
Yeah.
know.
And I have goals. I haven't even shared this with you guys as a team. I should share this. My goal is to bring on 2 new paying customers a week. That's my goal. But sometimes, like I said, it could be 10 days and there's none. Because I send a email out every Sunday, and before I do it, I add to my email list. I'll go to my office and grab my new affiliates and new customers for the week and add them into my flow desk. And sometimes I'll go to add it and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't have a new customer this week. But it's like I didn't even notice because I'm not like worried. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah,
not,
you
but I
can't
do,
worry about it.
but
It'll
I do
come.
see it though, and I'm like, okay, I need to make something happen this week. Like last week, no end result came, so I'm aware of it, but I don't let it like affect.
Well, and yeah, and remember, you were sick for almost 2 weeks. So, I mean, that's got to play into the whole didn't get anything last week because it's not what you do today. It's what you did, you know,
The
2 weeks ago or a month ago or 12 years ago.
Yep, and just like I set a goal for our team to be 100,000, and you need 15 premier affiliates, and we didn't hit that, but it's like it doesn't determine. Well, like we moved forward, like so I look at it, and we're like, okay, we moved forward. We had new premier affiliates, and we had 68,000 or 62,000 the month before. So even though that we fell short of the goal, there's progress, and it's
Yeah,
celebrating progress all the
and
time.
it will happen. It
It will
will.
happen. Yeah, and another thing you think about, like I have a goal of having a 5 million a month team, but you can't go to work today being like, we're a $5 million team. Like I can write that out, but you have to focus on the next step.
Yes.
That could be, I need to be 7K leader, or I need to
Yeah.
get 15K leader, or I
Yeah.
need 25 points for the trip by the end of this month or whatever. It's setting those small, because you can be like, I want to earn the trip, 100 points. I earned the trip, but you do need to break them down and be like, okay, I'm at 14 points now. I need to get to 20 by the end of April. Like you need to
Yeah.
set those small goals too. So, okay, well, I enjoy being on here with you ladies. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll see ya.
All right. See you Friday.
On Friday, I'll be gone.
Okay.
Where are you going?